Keep the child within alive. Hello, I'm Ranjan Kumar, founder and authentic self-leadership coach at Mystic Fusion International and best-selling author of the book Hit Your Restart Button. Which child am I speaking about? I remember an incident when the former president of India, Shri APJ Abdul Kalam ji, was addressing a few school students, and a child asked him, "Sir, who was the first scientist on this planet?" He thought for a while and answered, "The first person who asked a question was the first scientist on this planet." What a wonderful answer. The first person who asked a question was the first scientist. Now, do you remember as a child what was the only thing that we used to do? We used to just run around asking questions, and as we kept growing, somehow we started living in a virtual reality. The virtual reality of others' opinions, the virtual reality of others' worlds, the virtual reality of how others interpreted situations, the virtual reality of what others expected from us, and gradually we started feeling that this virtual reality is the only reality, and we somewhere lost that child within. As a child, our only motive was to learn things through our first-hand experience. If you remember, when you used to get a toy from your father or your mother or as a gift, the only thing you would do is try to open it. Try to see what is inside it. And where does this come from? Do you think the child goes to a school to learn about curiosity? Do you think the child is trained on how to be curious? Absolutely no. I'm sure you will agree, we are born curious. We are born naturally inclined to learn new things. But somehow we started following the easier way. And the easier way is, just follow. Just follow somebody's instructions. Just follow what somebody expects us to perform like. Just follow what somebody suggests us to be like. Just follow, everything that is around us, and you will be very safe because you will not be curious. And where has that scientist within gone? Where has that child within gone? These are some of the questions I think should be the primary questions that anyone should ask if they are on the way to discover their own authenticity and discover their own self-leadership. The question arises is that if you are looking for that authentic self-confidence, if you are looking for that authentic self-efficacy, if you are looking for greater resourcefulness, if you are looking for greater resilience, if you are looking for producing greater results, the only way you can do it is by being original. And how can you be original? The only way is be that child that you were once. Do you remember every thought that you thought at that point of time was original? Do you know you were learning through your own first-hand experience. But somehow, you got into this world, you got dragged around by the media around, you got pulled around by everything that was in the school system, that was in the education system, that was around you with your relations, with your friends, in your street. Now, everywhere, you got so pulled out of your own self that we forgot that there is some original substance which is crying for our attention within. And that inner child is still alive, is still breathing. It's our responsibility to keep that child alive. The child within is asking, what are you doing with me? What are you thinking about me? Would you let me do something? Would you let me explore this life? Would you let me explore this world? I would want to see this world by myself. I would want to see this world firsthand, not through somebody's opinions, not through somebody's ideas, not through somebody's interpretations of what life is and what world is. But then we got so busy with life, we got so busy with existence that in fact we forgot what life is. We got so busy with finding safety, we got so busy with finding security, we got so busy with finding our day-to-day livelihood that we forgot that life is something beyond livelihood. Life doesn't stop at livelihood. Life goes beyond that. We got so busy with professional networking, as if there is always a selfish motive of business behind relationships, and we forgot that a child was only curious to know people from their deepest core heart within. And surprisingly, relationships have turned business like because we aren't allowing the child to explore the people around. We aren't letting the child out, and we have given the reins of our life into something external's hand. If you really want to explore this, probably the only way you can explore that self-authentic leadership within is by keeping this child within alive. Once you just let this, once you decide to keep the child within alive, you will bounce back like anything, because the child is still alive. And the moment you let it loose, the moment you give it a freedom, it starts becoming naturally curious about everything. And today I would like to tell you, ask yourself, did the child get trained to be naturally confident? Did the child get trained to be naturally fearless? Did the child ever go any training to be naturally curious? You have the answer. Why are we seeking one? The only reason is we are living in a contaminated thought bubble of our own. We are living in a thought bubble of our own because this is our own production. This is our own manufacturing. That we have defined life in such a way that it is suffocating that child within. And if you want to become one of that authentic self leaders, the first step would be to let that child live. And you will see that you will start seeing life in a different way. You will start seeing your own self in a fresh new way, and you will start becoming who you are, more of who you are than before. If you love this, I'm sure you are going to let that child live and follow that child's instructions which it is asking you and telling you in its feeble voice from within, and which probably we have been ignoring for a very long time. Thank you so much for being here. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would invite you to subscribe to my channel, because I'm sharing hundreds and hundreds of videos on authentic self-leadership. Love you.